folks, welcome to Look Back. I'm Tom Vasel on the Dice Tower here, and I'm talking about reviews that I did 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years ago, and tell you what I think about them at this point in time, if I think about them at all. So let's start with a year ago. This week, I took a look at Tangaru. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a Polynesian-themed game. There's a lot of moving pieces to it. This is from Alley Cat Games. A lot of moving pieces, and at the end, I thought it was okay. It didn't feel... There was a spark missing from it, so 6 out of 10. Monstrosity, terrible name, but in this game, you describe a monster to everyone else and they have to draw it, and they're trying to get as many details right as possible. It's a silly game, works better for the younger set, of 7 out of 10. Arc Ravels, I really like the fact that Arc Ravels exists. I'm always happy when a game comes with a theme that I think will appeal to people who really like something, in this case, knitting and yarn. And the people who like that might play this game who might not normally play a game. It's a very simple, easy to get into style game, 7 out of 10. And then Spies and Lies. Spies and Lies, a 2-player game based in the world of Stratego. I think it's hilarious, but it's a nice back and forth bluffing game. I really like it, 8.5. 5 years ago, I took a look at Stack Attack, where you're literally stacking dice. Oh my. I give this a 3 out of 10 because at least you get some dice. Suspicion. This is a deduction style game with a really cool art motif to it, but too simple. It's not a very great game, unfortunately. 5 out of 10. A Dog's Life. This was the reprint, a nice reprint of the game, but the game itself about being a dog, running around town, marking your territory. Yes, exactly what you might be thinking. Digging up bones. There's just way too much luck. It's just not a good game. The theme's great, but that's it. 5 out of 10. Glimpse. This is an okay party game, 6 out of 10, but it has these glasses, like the red and blue eyeglasses that you can see things with on the cards. It's kind of a nice gimmick to the game. Bubbly Pop, another 6 out of 10. It's an okay game based on apps like Bejeweled and stuff like that. Those games are often best left as apps. Star Wars Destiny. Now, I think I originally gave this one a 7. I'm dropping it to a 6. Part of that is the collectability factor. In fact, a big part of it is. And I'm not even ashamed to say that. I'm not opposed to collectible games in general. Like Magic the Gathering is collectible, and I think it's fine. But that's because in Magic the Gathering, I can buy nice decks. I can buy a few booster packs and have a lot of fun with the game, or even just basically just a deck. I'm fine. Only if you're playing competitively does it matter. In Star Wars Destiny, you miss out on a lot of the really cool characters, and it's hard to do things because you're hunting down dice. I thought the collectability part wasn't that great. The game is fine, but it's not one I want to go back to that often, and it's died out, so I dropped it to a 6. Kilt Castle, a Scottish-themed, there's no theme, it's an abstract game about building castles. 7 out of 10. Vikings Gone Wild. This is one of the first games from Lucky Duck Games that I played. Really brought them. It's a deck building game that I really like. I like the artwork on it. I like how the game works, where you can attack other players, but you're not really attacking them. You just get points unless they defend against you. So they don't take any damage necessarily, but it's fun and there's a lot of neat expansions. Really cool game. Vikings Gone Wild, 8 out of 10. Santorini, 8.5, because this great abstract game is one of the best, most original games that come out in a long time, as you're building this beautiful little city of Santorini, but every game you play, you have a god power that completely changes how it works. David and Goliath, I gave an 8 to this one. Now, this didn't come out 5 years ago. It came out much longer than that. I'm hoping it's an 8.5. It's one of the best trick-taking games out there. Scales well from 3 to 6 players, and not many games do that. 10 years ago, I took a look at Bug Out. It's an okay game, 6 out of 10, a speed-style game. The Gang, another 6 out of 10. This is from DV Giochi, a card game about mobsters. Meh. Weird Tales, another 6 out of 10. Another And here's the thing, I would love Weird Tales more. It's a storytelling game. I think if the artwork looked better. Mundus Novus, this is a 7 out of 10. This Asmodee game from Bruno Catala, and I think the artwork's Vincent Dutray. It looks beautiful, but the theme is so boring, and the name isn't really helping. I want to go back and check this one out. It's been so long since I played it. And then 7.5 to Expedition Sumatra Daru Daru. This is it's based on Expedition Sumatra. It's one of the first roll and writes out there, and it's a pretty solid little game. I love the theme as you're trying to travel around and look at the different animals on a safari. I think that's a pretty neat idea. So if you can find it, there's very few copies of this game out there. So those are the games that I reviewed 1, 5, and 10 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back on the Dice Tower.